Well, hello and welcome to Profoundly Silly Wisdom, the channel for people who are ready to start living as their authentic self rather than following all the shoulds. Now, today's topic is how to live an exciting life. And I got this actually from the YouTube Creators app, the YouTube Studio app. And it basically showed top searches. And I saw the question, how do I live an exciting life? And I thought, what a brilliant question. So if you feel like you have, that your life has become a bit dull, it just feels a bit serious, heavy, you're on some kind of treadmill, you've kind of lost touch with yourself, then that's what this channel is about. So I thought, well, I might as well answer that question. So the way I see it, there are sort of three keys to living an exciting life. So I'm going to share those with you. The first one is actually reconnecting to your dreams. So if you feel like life has become sort of heavy and dull, what's probably happened is that you somehow disconnected from the things that matter to you, the things that are exciting for you, essentially. And why does this happen? Well, it comes back to the shoulds that I'm always talking about. This basically through our upbringing, we get trained in how to live an effective life, to incorporate us into societies that become sensible, functioning adults, and all of the systems run nicely. Well, that's the idea anyway. But what can happen if we're not careful is that we start absorbing, which we do obviously from birth, we absorb the ideas and the beliefs of our family. We absorb the beliefs of our culture as we're, going through the education system. And if we're not careful, we can just get used to following the rules about, how to live our lives and not connecting to what really matters to us inside. And so living an exciting life, if life has become dull, then it's time to reconnect to your dreams. Now, you may even think of the word dreams as well. Well, what's the point of that? If that's the reaction you're having, then you've definitely disconnected from your dreams. Because, we get this sense, people like to say with a very serious expression that they're realists. And what they usually mean by that is that they are telling you why your ideas are not very sensible and are never going to happen. But that's, the truth is we're all creating our reality. Now, I'm not asking you to throw all, common sense out of the window. But if we are not connecting to the things that really matter to us, then all we're doing is living someone else's life, essentially listening to the realists who are telling us what we can and can't do. And that doesn't lead to a very exciting life. So how do you reconnect to your dreams? Well, things you can do, journaling is a great one, actually. And if you're not much of a writer, then maybe you're more of a talker like me, then maybe speaking it out is a good way. So recording into your mobile phone, for example. Journal on things like, what your ideal day would look like. Now, this isn't an ideal, sensible day from the realist's point of view. This is where you get your chance to step into the world of your imagination. So let go of all those ideas about what is possible. What would your absolute ideal day look like? So yeah, journal on that question. Journal on the question, these are just examples, you can think of your own. If I got the same amount of money every month, no matter what I did, I would. Answer that question. So, we've taken money out of the equation, which is usually what the realists are referring to when they're trying to kill our dreams. So to take that out of the equation for now, because that's probably something that's tripping you up. It's certainly very, very prevalent in our sort of collective unconscious. So yeah, what would you do if you got the same amount of money no matter what? Maybe people who are doing high status things would think, well, if I'm going to get the same amount of money, I actually don't care so much about it. I just like the status. So they'd think of something else. But again, it's not about what other people think. It's about letting your imagination free. So come up with a few questions like that. Another one that people use is, if I could never fail. And I saw a reframe of that actually on Instagram yesterday. I can't remember who who it was that said it, but they said, well, that we do fail in life. If you like, nothing happens perfectly the way we anticipate it. So they reframe that question as well. If I knew I was going to keep failing, what would I still be doing anyway? So, maybe that's another way to look at it. But come up with your list of questions, then carve out some time and just let your imagination loose. So start, what would that do? You think, oh, great, I'll end up with pages and pages of crazy ideas that I can never bring into reality. But the thing is, what you're doing is you're seeding your imagination. By doing that, you're connecting to your creativity. And of course, you don't know how to bring things into reality yet, because the whole point of dreaming, the whole point of connecting to our dreams in order to live a more exciting life, is that dreams are things that are bigger than us. They're so much bigger than us that they're exciting. If we knew exactly how to bring them into reality, it wouldn't be exciting. So that's the whole point. We, in some ways, as creative beings, which we are, unfortunately, a lot of us get taught that we're not creative, but we are all creative, just expressing it in different ways. But if we are able to do that sort of exercise, we start to connect to our creative nature. It gets our juices flowing. And what can happen is, and maybe you want to go back to the answers to these journalings later on, go through them and you'll start to get a sense of, well, what does matter to me? What is exciting to me? And you can create a goal around that. Again, if the idea of your overarching dream is so huge that it terrifies you, then pick something that is on the way to it. Like if it's, say you wanted to set up this amazing company, in your fantasy, you were running this amazing company, if it, that's international and all kinds of juicy things. But the idea of aiming for that straight off the bat, from where you are now, is terrifying. Well, that's a bit terrifying is too exciting. So we need to rein it in a bit. We need to, make something smaller that you can aim towards. Or maybe there's a project that I could, run, or maybe I could just try out an idea for a product that is interesting to me. Again, you don't have to set up a whole company. You don't have to there's lots of things that you can do just to get an idea. And again, it's a bit of an interplay. You've got to play around with this, because again, it's, the realists will say, well, that's impossible. Yes, it might be impossible from where you are now. But if you are willing to play with coming up with a dream that does excite you, and then from that, you can start trying things out in reality. And that's when you start to get somewhere. It's the combination. Because then you can ask yourself the question, who do I need to become in order to make this dream happen? And even if you stick with the biggest dream because you actually do feel excited about it, you've got to follow your heart with this. This is about us learning to follow our own guidance and not listen to all the programming around us, and the fear-based programming is what it is. So tune into what feels exciting for you, and then you get to ask yourself the question, who do I need to become to experience this goal, being fulfilled? What do I need to learn? And you're not going to have all of the answers, and you don't need to have all of the answers off the bat, but you can start to take steps towards that. Maybe there's something you can learn, there's a skill you can learn. So yeah, again, it's having an overarching goal that excites you to move towards. What does this do? It gives you a sense of purpose. And why does it give you a sense of purpose? Because it is actually rooted in what matters to you. It's not just about listening to what everyone else thinks. So an overarching, exciting goal can really help bring excitement back into your life, and you tap into that through your imagination. So, but then there's another side to this, because, we hear about, enjoy the journey. We talk about life as a journey, really, the metaphor of a journey. And then we're saying, well, if all we're doing is going for this big, juicy goal, then we're kind of missing, we're obsessing with the destination, if you like. The goal is the destination, but we're not enjoying the journey. So that's the other side. And it's a paradox, and it's something that if we want to live an exciting life, we need to hold it in balance. So the other side of the coin that I've just shared with you is, yes, it's about learning to be in the moment. It's about learning to enjoy life now, learning to enjoy what you have now. You know, what skills do you have now that you enjoy using, or talents? You know, what is in your life now that you enjoy? And it's not just about, I'm not just talking about work thing. I was thinking about the work example I gave you, but it's things like the ability to just take simple pleasure in life. Your first cup of coffee in the morning, you know, maybe instead of just downing it quickly while you're flicking through your phone and reading all your emails, you know, maybe carve out just a few minutes to sit there and smell the coffee, you know, wake up and smell the coffee, but in a more peaceful way. Enjoy the flavours of it, notice it. This is really mindfulness, but to be fair, mindfulness can sound a bit boring. So I'm just saying pleasure, because that sounds more exciting to me. But yeah, simple things like that. You know, just take time to play. You know, again, this is where we need to learn from the children, or our inner child that sort of got left by the wayside as we were being taught all of these sensible rules and all of the responsibilities that we needed in order to be functioning adults. You know, a bit of silliness. Look, there you go. There's my silliness for the moment. I like unicorns. So I've decided to do the rest of this point in a unicorn hat. Now, you may feel sorry for me because you think I look ridiculous, but I don't mind because I'm enjoying myself. And, you know, so it's that thing. It's doing things just because they make you smile, enjoying the things that you do have in your life. And another thing you can do, and I'm looking around at my room, which you can't see at the moment, and I can't move the camera, it's too much. I need a cameraman for that sort of thing. But my room is filled with crystals and sparkly things. And actually, you probably can't see it, but I'm sitting on a bean bag, rather colour. I'll show you my bean bag. There you go. There, it's a children's bean bag, and it has jungle animals on it. Why did I ever think I was going to show this to the YouTubers? No, I didn't. It was never my intention to do so. I have this in my room because it makes me smile. It's cheerful. And the more that we tap into this energy of enjoyment, of pleasure and simple pleasures, the more excitement we bring to our life. You know, we can enjoy the meal that we have, enjoy the taste. And that's it. Exactly what it is. It's the life of the senses, the 5 senses. So, you know, we've got our big dream, but equally we want to enjoy being in the moment. And that's what these things will do. They will tap us into our bodies essentially again, because it's not all about big overarching purpose and, you know, all of that kind of stuff. It's also about being in the moment, enjoying being in a body, you know, and this, you know, holding this paradox, we're already doing it at the soul level, because what I believe is that we are a soul. So we are an infinite being of light, a field of consciousness that lives currently in a body that I can, you know, touch and smell. Yes, I did shower this morning and I'm wearing perfume and it's all lovely. And, you know, so I can be here and now as a soul, but equally as a soul, I exist outside of time. I exist in the eternal now. And so our souls are living in that paradox. So really what we're doing when we're learning to balance these, you know, the big aspirational, creative, juicy stuff that makes life exciting, but also the being in the moment, the splashing, you know, in the rain puddles, you know, and the mud puddles and everything else, you know, the things that maybe we've forgotten how to do as serious adults. We're actually tuning into the energy of our soul, because our soul realizes actually that being in a body is precious. It's a precious experience. We don't always have a body. It doesn't last forever. And so for the soul, being in the now is not a waste of time on the way to our big overarching goal. And we're only measured, our life is only worth living for that big juicy goal. No, our life is worth living now. You're valuable now. Your life is valuable. Your body is valuable. It's your vehicle to experience the miracle of life. And so the more you can tap into both of those and learn to hold those in balance, the more in tune you are with your authentic nature, which is your soul nature, because you are experiencing all of that at once. And it's really about what you're doing with your mind and what you're focusing on. So the key to living an exciting life, because souls are adventurers, souls are excited about life. So it's about learning to focus, to use our mind to focus on the big exciting things, but also on the precious and, the small things, which actually turn out to be big things anyway. So that's the paradox. So that's step one, is the big dream, tapping into your exciting dream. Step two is being embodied, enjoy being you, because you are amazing. You're unique. There is no one else like you. But what's the third thing that helps us to live an exciting life? Well, the third thing is community. And again, this is about tapping into our soul nature, because as a field of consciousness that lives outside of time, our soul knows that we are connected to all that is. Our soul is part of the unified field, which, or all that is, or life force. In one way to look at it is, we're all expressions of life energy, of life force, of source, whatever, or universe, or God, whatever words you want to use. We're all just different facets of that energy expressed in a multitude of different ways. And so we are at the fundamental level connected. And for that reason, again, if we are living an authentic life, then we're going to seek that connection. Now it can be hard, if you've shared your big dream with someone, with a realist, a self-proclaiming realist, and all they've done is tell you why that's never going to happen. That's impossible. Do you know how many people fail at that? And, they've just dumped all of their shit on you, basically. Then you don't feel very inspired, do you? How different is it, though, when you meet people who are supportive of you, who do value your dreams, because they know that's your connection to creativity. You're not sworn to create that one dream and that's all your life is about. But by connecting to that energy, they can see the spark in your eyes and get excited for you. And instead of telling you why it's never going to happen and you just need to wake up and sort yourself out, they're actually encouraging you instead. That's the difference of being connected. And what does it do? It creates a sense of safety. It's not safe to share our dreams. A lot of us have grown up in environments where it wasn't safe to be us, psychologically safe. Sometimes it wasn't physically safe in certain instances. But for a lot of us, we haven't always been able to share our dreams readily because they would be crushed. And we instinctively know that would be crushing part of us in a way, because that was our soul expression. And so finding like-minded people that who see you for who you are, who appreciate your creativity and who will encourage it is such a big thing. And not just that, they'll give you energy and ideas. They'll get excited about your dream and they'll spark ideas. They may come up with some, or they may, just by listening to you, allow you to come up with more ideas. And so it gets the creative juices flowing even more. No one creates in a vacuum. Even if you think about people who create alone, an author who writes a book, also an artist who produces a sculpture, for example, to bring that creativity, to share it with the world, it still takes other people to bring that into reality. In the case of the book, the creative process, your creative work will still be read by an editor, and they'll go through and they'll make suggestions about where things could flow better. And so even a solitary creative work like that still has input from other people, but also it requires people to bring that into the world, to create the digital form of the book, to create the illustrations, also to produce the physical book, to market it so that the people who resonate with your message will be able to read it. So there's so many people involved. This idea that we create in a vacuum and that we're these lone wolves, it's just a myth. It just isn't that way, and so we do need each other as well. But it's not just about need here and safety. It's also about fun. Life is coming back to the being in your body and enjoying life. Being in a community also helps us to do that. We get to hang out with each other. We get to, you know, share moments of silliness. Maybe I should take this hat off now. I don't know. I just remembered I had it on my head as I pointed to it. We get to share these moments of silliness. We get to enjoy being social together. And again, connection is a fundamental part of who we are. And so this is how we generate an exciting life. So just to recap briefly, you know, if we want to live an exciting life, we need exciting things to aim for, because that are tuned into our own heart, not just other people's ideas. So that this gives us a sense of purpose and something to move towards. It gives us, that just gets our creative juices going, and it enables us to create in the world. It gives us a way of expressing our creative nature. But then we need the other side of just learning to be us and appreciate who we are right now, and the fact that we're in a body and that life is precious. But also, you know, doing all of this in community is what really brings it alive. Because, you know, what happens when we have a big dream, it doesn't go like this, does it? Life doesn't go like this. This is me taking each step along on the journey to this big dream, and it's just one big like rocket launch upwards. No, that's not the way it goes. We try something and then it doesn't work out how we hoped, and it's like, oh. And then we try something else and then and challenges come. And that's all part of the journey. That's all part of the excitement in a way. But if we've only got a big dream and we don't know how to enjoy being in the moment, and we don't have anyone to share this with, then it becomes very isolating and very draining, and we cannot reach the same heights on our own. So yeah, if you want to be part of community, if you don't have that in your life currently, then join the Profoundly Silly Wisdom mailing list. You'll see the description. There's a link in the description box. And I will let you know, as we're in the beginning stages of setting up this community. And the vision is for us to, it's for people who want to go for their dreams. They're not going to just give up like the realists. I don't know what the realists are doing. We'll let them be. They're on their own journey. But who also want to enjoy the process of getting there. You know, it's not all serious and intense all the time, you know, because we can be a bit intense when we're just going for the big dream, but it's about learning to enjoy the moment. Also, you know, it's about sharing ideas and also socializing, because we are social animals. We are not lone wolves. So yeah, if that's you, join the mailing list, and you will be the first to know when we launch this marvelous community. I'm very excited about it. And also, if you've liked this video, then please like it so that more people get to see it. Share it with anyone you know who needs it. And if you want to hear more profoundly silly, wise thoughts in the future, then subscribe to the channel. And I will see you in the next installment, people.